Mercedes fans are currently waiting with impatience the team's comeback after the August break. Fans were disappointed since the beginning of the season after the modest performance their team showed in a different occasion because of the technology of the season's car, the W13. However, the young Mercedes British driver George Russell came with a kind pessimistic statement, breaking fans' hope of a near win. What is it about? Is there something new happening inside the Silver Arrow's garage making the young driver talk in that way? Stick around to know more about this. But before that, if you're not already a member of Formula Zone family, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell. You'll be receiving all the newest Formula 1 news and updates. If you are new to the Formula 1 world, check out our channel's video package. All what you need to know is available there. Tell us in the comment section what kind of content you would like to watch in our channel during the summer break. So the team moved from fighting for the first place in the standing to racing to get back to the first range teams. After plenty of upgrades and improvements, the team's engineer and technical staff could finally come out with a car version that drivers feel they can control better. As Lewis Hamilton said just after the end of the first part of the season, that now he regained confidence in his W13 compared to the start of the season. However, Silver Arrows are still not in contention for victory, 127 points behind the current leader of the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes, with all the changes brought, have 0 wins for the whole first half of the 2022 season, while the other first-range teams, Red Bull and Ferrari, with all the engine issue this last is having, could achieve 9 wins for the leader Red Bull and 4 wins for Scuderia Ferrari. Despite him having what could be called an advantage at the beginning of the season, being familiar with the car and controlling it better, George Russell, the team's talented young driver, believes his team may have a shot at race win after the summer break. However, the 24-year-old British driver insists Mercedes will never get to have the fastest car this year. The new generation of the German manufacturers had, unlike the last season, a lot of issues, especially the porpoising. The team focused on reducing the causes bouncing in the last race before the break. During the Hungarian Grand Prix, Mercedes achieved a big step forward with the first pole position in Formula 1 for the young Brighton George Russell and achieved 2 double podiums in a row, with Lewis Hamilton preceding Russell at the checkered flag in the runner-up spot behind the race winner and the title holder Max Verstappen. In a recent interview, Lewis Hamilton stated that his team is obviously improving. However, some changes must be introduced. We are improving, but we're still missing 3 or 4 tenths to be able to win. Our direction goes to a downforce increase. Russell confirmed that he with his team are definitely doing better and absolutely closing the gap with their rivals, but still have 4 cars running ahead of them and having significant pace advantage over them. We're definitely closing that gap. There is no doubt, but the 4 cars ahead of us certainly have the pace advantage. There is no doubt about that. Russell confirmed that his team will be adding some new car upgrades in order to gain more pace, but this will be the case of their rivals, so things won't be easy according to the British young driver. But I think as a team, we're slowly closing the gap. Hopefully, after the summer break, we'll add some extra things to the car, but as does everybody, so it's not going to be as straightforward. Russell finished his statement declaring honestly, with all the hard work the team is providing, they may win some races and score some points. However, being the quickest is extremely difficult at this stage, if not impossible according to him. We still believe we can probably fight for victories at some point this season, but I don't think we'll probably ever have the car that will be outright quickest. Russell, whose experience with the Silver Arrows is first with the first-range team in Formula 1, may have less knowledge about Formula 1 strategies and the evolution of the team's situations. Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team principal, declared in a different occasion that his team would not stop collecting data after each race to improve the car more and more and help its engineer to better understand the complexities of the W13 ground effect. But it looks like the team gets to manage better and faster the situation, as it was the case at the Hungarian Grand Prix in Budapest, where he had a difficult Friday before fixing things and turning them around on Saturday. Guys, if you're enjoying today's video, drop a like down there. Consider subscribing if you find our channel's content informative. Mercedes Trackside Engineering Director Andrew Chauvelin said that every experience they have been through this season was useful, even if it was tough. Chauvelin believes that these live experiments on track every race are the key for the new technologies the team will come up with for the coming season. It was a bit uncomfortable. The car was in a pretty bad place, but it was one of those where we want one way and realize we need to go the other. So it was useful experience. We're doing all these races saying we've got to make them live experiment. We've got to be learning for the future. The British Formula 1 engineer confirmed again for Silver Arrows fans that they are still doing their best to win races and make fans happy. However, things aren't this easy. On track, things are different and may go to uncomfortable stage. Chauvelin didn't miss the chance to praise his team's as driver and the performance they showed during the last competitions, saying that it was a nice way to go to the summer break. That sounds great on paper. In practice, it can be quite difficult and quite uncomfortable, but it was a great turnaround. Both drivers have done a great job. The teams has done a great job, and what a nice way to go into the summer break. On the other side, Toto Wolff, the Mercedes boss who passed a long way to solve the W13 porpoising issue and to push on Formula 1 governing body to help protecting his drivers' safety by imposing some new regulation starting from the Belgian Grand Prix just after the break and exposing some teams as cheating, said directly that he isn't interested in winning the second or third place of the Constructors' Championship, describing the second winner as the first loser. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff have talked earlier to Sky Sports about their rivals taking advantage of the floor flexing and that he with his team hope the technical directive the Formula 1 governing body released recently hope it was applied a bit earlier. I think so. I haven't been able to squeeze the skid of certain teams. We're looking at our competitor, and probably I would have wished that the TD comes in a little bit earlier, but it is what it is, so in Spa we won't see that anymore. Due to the Ferrari's engine issue, poor reliability, and particular questionable strategy with some driver errors, the newly getting into its shape Mercedes could finally get near to closing the gap, being only 30 points behind. However, talking to Autosports, Mercedes team principal still consider Ferrari as a dominant team, and he is so satisfied to race again in the same race with them. In my personal opinion, we're still laking to the front runners. You've seen that Leclerc on the right tire is still dominant force, but at least we were in the same race. Wolff clearly said during an interview with media including Racing News that winning races on merit and preparing for the next year is more important for him than the championship's second or third position. Second is the first loser for me. Whether it's second or third in the Constructors' Championship is not so relevant compared to really racing and being at the front, developing the car so we can win races on merit, beat the Ferraris, beat the Red Bulls, and prepare for the next year, rather than really care about the championship position. The Austrian kept the pressure on, saying that with all the good results his team finally could realize, he thinks they aren't yet back in the game, and they are still a bit far from fighting the two leaders of the standings, Red Bull and Ferrari. I think we landed well in Budapest on Saturday with Russell's pole lap and repeated the result in the race, but I don't think we are close enough to Ferrari and Red Bull to really fight them yet. I don't want to say now suddenly we are right back into the game and we can win races, because I don't think that's the case. While that was Mercedes boss speech, Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal, was extremely confident in the other side and declared a few days after his Dutch driver Max Verstappen achieved his 7th victory of the season, winning the Hungarian Grand Prix. Horner declared, "Nothing stood out significantly to us." Horner carried on talking sarcastically about Mercedes car upgrades during the summer break. I hear Toto Wolff said they are going to work throughout the summer break to improve the car, like he usually does. Toto Wolff insisted on the importance of the continued hard work for his team if they are looking for wins again. Lots of learning still to do, and it's also important to get it wrong. What is your opinion about this, guys? How do you think the W13 will perform after the summer break? What will the team's technical staff be working on during the current break? Tell us in the comments section. Don't forget to invite your friends and Formula 1 fans around you to watch this video. If you're looking for a good Formula 1 content, consider subscribing to our channel. We do our best to provide you with the newest news and updates. That was all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.